Let's see a few of the environmental factors in culture media. This one is the atmosphere. Most bacteria are capable of growth under ordinary conditions of oxygen tension. Obligate aerobes require the free admission of oxygen, that is, it can grow only in the presence of oxygen, while anaerobes grow only in the absence of atmospheric oxygen. Between these two groups are the microaerophiles, which develop best under partial anaerobic conditions, and the facultative anaerobes, which are capable of growing in the presence or absence of oxygen. Anaerobic conditions for growth of microorganisms are obtained in a number of ways. First one is the addition of small amounts of agar to liquid media, addition of fresh tissue to the media, addition of a reducing substance to the media, for example, sodium thioglycolate, thioglycolic acid, L-cysteine, and displacement of the air by hydrogen or nitrogen, absorption of the oxygen by chemicals, inoculation into the deep layers of solid media or under a layer of oil in liquid media. Many organisms require an environment of almost 5 to 10% of carbon dioxide. Levels greater than 10% are often inhibitory due to a decrease in pH as carbonic acid forms. Culture media vary in their susceptibility to form toxic oxidation products if they are exposed to light and air. Coming to the water activity, proper moisture conditions are necessary for continued luxuriant growth of microorganisms. Organisms require an aqueous environment and must have free water. Free water is not bound in complex structure and is necessary for transfer of nutrients and toxic waste products. Evaporation during incubation or storage result in loss of free water and reduction of colony size or total inhibition of organism growth. In order to neutralize or absorb toxic metabolites, we can add certain protective agents like calcium carbonate, soluble starch and charcoal into the culture media. Certain type of bacteria like Haemophilus species and Neisseria species require nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, that is NAD, and hemine for their enhanced growth. Culture medium is broadly divided into two, that is liquid medium and solid medium. In liquid media, there is diffused growth of the microorganism and there is no specific characteristics for the identification of organism. It is difficult to isolate. Some of the earliest liquid media that is used was urine or meat broth, which is used by Louis Pasteur before the discovery of agar broth. And in solid medium, distant colony morphologies can be identified and the characteristics are easy to identify. The colonies can be macroscopically visible, and the earliest solid medium that was used was cooked cut potato by Robert Koch. Then later gelatin was used. When it was not found satisfactory, it was replaced by agar. Agar was discovered by Fanny Hesse and is universally used for preparing solid medium. It is obtained from the seaweed named Gelidium, and there is no nutritive value in it, and it is not affected by the growth of any bacteria, and it melts at 90 degrees Celsius and set at 42 degrees Celsius, and 2% agar is employed in the preparation of solid medium. Let's see what are the types of culture media. Based on their consistency, culture media is divided into solid medium, liquid medium and semi-solid medium, and based on the constituents or ingredients, they are divided into simple medium, complex medium, synthetic or defined, and the special media. And based on oxygen requirement, they are divided into aerobic media and anaerobic media. The special media consists of enriched media, enrichment media, selective media, indicator media, differential media, sugar media, transport media, and the media that is used for biochemical reactions. Now let's check what is the significance of each type of media. The first one is the solid media. It contains 2% of agar, and in solid media we can identify the colony morphology and can identify any pigments, if any pigmentation is there, we can identify that pigmentation. And hemolysis also can be seen on the solid media. That is, hemolysis means it's a degradation of RBC. And if a particular microorganism is causing this hemolysis pattern, that can be observed in solid media. An example of solid media is nutrient agar, and another example is blood agar. Hemolysis is usually observed on blood agar. The next one is the liquid media. Here there is no agar because we know that agar is a solidifying agent. In liquid media, you can't find agar in it. It's used for inoculum preparation and for blood culture, and it is also used for continuous culture. An example of liquid media is the nutrient broth. We have mentioned about continuous culture in liquid media. This continuous culture is mainly happening in the industrial production, that is when microorganism is used for the production of industrial products such as amino acids, vitamins, antibiotics. In that case, we need this liquid media for the initial inoculum preparations. Next one is a semi-solid medium. It only consists of 0.5% of agar. It's mainly used as a motility medium in order to find whether a particular organism is motile or not. So in semi-solid medium, if a particular microorganism have the property of motility, it can show that in this. In this, you can see the agar in Petri plate and agar in test tube as agar deep tube, and you can also see agar slants, and these all are solid mediums. And here there is a broth, and this is liquid medium. This is nutrient broth. Now let's see what is simple media or basal media. An example of this is the nutrient broth. It consists of peptone, meat extract, sodium chloride and water. Nutrient agar is made by adding 2% agar to nutrient broth, and it is the simplest and most common medium in routine diagnostic laboratories. If the concentration of agar is reduced to 0.2 to 0.5%, semi-solid or sloppy agar is obtained, which enables motile organisms to spread. Increasing the concentration of agar to 6% prevents spreading or swarming by organisms. For example, the organism that's having a swarming capability is the Proteus. And nutrient broth plus 0.5% of glucose is added means we can get glucose broth. The next one is a complex media. These have added ingredients for special purposes or for bringing out certain characteristics or providing special nutrients required for the growth of the organisms under study. The next one is synthetic or defined media. These media are prepared from pure chemical substances and the exact composition of the medium is known. They are used for special studies, for example, metabolic requirements. And an example of this is the peptone water medium with 1% peptone and 0.5% NaCl in water is used for that. Next one is the enriched media. In this media, substances such as blood, serum or egg are added to a basal medium. They are used to grow bacteria which are more exacting in their nutritional needs. And the examples are blood agar, chocolate agar and egg media. Nutrient agar with 5 to 10% of blood is added means we can get the blood agar. In blood agar, it shows 3 types of hemolysis. That is, the microorganism shows generally 3 types of hemolysis. One is alpha hemolysis, and the other is beta hemolysis, and the third one is gamma hemolysis. The alpha hemolysis produces a greenish discoloration with partial hemolysis around the colonies, and the zone of lysis is small with indefinite margins and Unlysed erythrocytes can be made out microscopically within the zone. The beta hemolysis produces a sharply defined, clear, colorless zone of hemolysis. It's almost 2 to 4 millimeter wide, within which red cells are completely lysed. And in gamma hemolysis, it produces no change in the medium. An example of the organism that is showing alpha and beta hemolysis is Streptococcus. Now let's see what is enrichment media. Liquid media is used to isolate pathogens from a mixed culture. In enrichment media, it will stimulate the growth of desired bacterium and inhibit the growth of the unwanted bacterium. The media is incorporated with inhibitory substances to suppress the growth of unwanted organisms and increase in number of the desired bacteria or organism. For example, selenite F broth is used for the isolation of Salmonella, Shigella, and tetrathionate broth is used to inhibit the coliforms. The tetrathionate broth where the tetrathionate inhibits the coliforms, it will allow the growth of typhoid paratyphoid bacilli to grow freely. Next one is the selective media. An inhibitory substance is added to a solid media and this will increase the number of colonies of desired bacteria. And it is almost similar to the enrichment media, but in this we are adding this inhibiting substance into a solid medium, and in enrichment media we are adding it in a liquid medium mostly. And the examples of these selective media are desoxycholate citrate medium for the identification or isolation of dysentery bacilli, and thiosulfate citrate bile salt for the identification of the isolation of Vibrio cholerae, and the Launceston-Jensen medium for the isolation of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. You can see the selective media: desoxycholate citrate medium, thiosulfate citrate bile salt medium, and the Launceston-Jensen's medium that is used for the isolation of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And its content consists of beaten eggs, mineral salts, and malachite green as an indicator. Next one is the indicator media. This media contain an indicator which changes color when a bacterium grows in them. For example, incorporation of sulfite in Wilson and Blade medium. Salmonella typhi reduces sulfite to sulfide in the presence of glucose, and the colonies of Salmonella typhi have a black metallic sheen. And the potassium tellurite in McLeod's medium is reduced to metallic tellurium by the diphtheria bacillus to produce black colonies. And the next example is the Christensen's urease medium. And the urease medium forms a pink color. Now you can see here the Wilson-Blair medium and the Christensen's urease medium, and you can see the pink color after the growth of the microorganism. Here the urease producing bacteria reduce urea to ammonia, which is responsible for the color, which is responsible for this pink color. And the next one is a differential medium. It's a medium which has substances incorporated in it, enabling it to bring out different characteristics of bacteria and thus helping to distinguish between them, and is called a differential medium. For example, McConkey's medium, which consists of peptone, lactose, agar, neutral red, and taurocolate, shows that lactose fermenters as pink colonies, while non-lactose fermenters are colorless or pale. And sometimes these mediums are sometimes termed as indicator medium. Here you can see the lactose positive colonies as pink color and lactose negatives are colorless. And coliforms in McConkey mediums will be forming a greenish metallic sheen when they are lactose positive or lactose forming. So now let's see what sugar media is. The term sugar in microbiology denotes any fermentable substance. There can be monosaccharides, for example arabinose and dextrose, mannose, disaccharides like saccharose, lactose, polysaccharides like starch, inulin, trisaccharides like raffinose, glucosides like salicin, and also non-carbohydrate substance like inositol is also included in this. The usual sugar media consists of 1% of the sugar in peptone water along with an appropriate indicator. A small tube called Derham's tube is kept inverted in the sugar tube to detect gas production. For organisms which are exacting in their growth requirements, for example, pneumococcus or streptococcus, his serum sugars are used. They contain almost 3% serum. The next one is the transport media. It is a media that is used for transporting the samples. In the case of delicate organisms like gonococci, which may not survive the time taken for transporting the specimen to the laboratory or may be overgrown by the non-pathogens, special media are devised for transporting the specimens. And these are termed as transport media. For example, Stewart's medium is a non-nutrient soft agar gel containing a reducing agent to prevent oxidation, and the charcoal to neutralize certain bacterial inhibitors that is used for gonococci, and the buffered glycerol saline is used for enteric bacilli. Here you can see the transport medium are kept in something like this. In this you can also collect the clinical samples live and just close this and can transport to the laboratory. The next one is the anaerobic media, and this media is used to grow anaerobic organisms. For examples, Robertson's cooked meat medium and thioglycolate medium. Robertson's cooked meat media was developed by Robertson in 1916 for the cultivation of anaerobes isolated from wounds. It is a liquid enrichment media also known as cooked meat broth, and this media contains pieces of fat-free minced cooked meat of beef heart and nutrient broth. It is mainly used for the cultivation of microaerophilic and anaerobic microorganisms, for example Clostridium species. And in this is thioglycolate medium, and in this the sodium thioglycolate in the medium consumes oxygen and permits the growth of obligate anaerobes.